You are listening to TechVibe Radio. It's coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. TechVibe Radio is your front row seat to Pittsburgh's fast-moving technology ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by the generous support of Blink at 321blink.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, C-Leveled at c-leveled.com, Compunetics at compunetics.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, My Benefit Advisor at ptc.mybenefitadvisor.com, and PNC Bank at pnc.com. Here are your hosts, the Pittsburgh Technology Council's Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting.
So glad you're spending your Sunday morning hanging out with me, Jonathan Kirsting, on TechVibe Radio. I'm from the Pittsburgh Technology Council. I get to have way too much fun telling all the great stories happening across Pittsburgh's technology ecosystem. We've got a great story here today to start off with. Very excited to get to it. I have Susie Teal here. She runs all the marketing at the ARM Institute, which is, of course, known as the Advanced Robotics for Manufacturing Institute. And for, I think, almost 5 years now, they've been in the Pittsburgh area really just trying to make sure that the leading edge technologies around robotics and AI and so forth are all being deployed into manufacturing to help it be more efficient, more competitive. And they just had this really cool press announcement detailing a new project that's going to demonstrate how virtual reality and similar technology can be used to provide incumbent manufacturing workers with the ability to earn credentials based upon their knowledge and skills, all gained through on-the-job training. This is really important stuff because these folks, they need to actually prove they have these skills. The standards still need to be set. It's a fun conversation. And so, Susie, I'm so glad you're here with me today to talk to us more about it. And of course, what ARM is doing, really just to make things pop here in Pittsburgh. Thanks for being with me here today.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. As always, it's great to see you and hear you, whether it's virtual or in person.
Absolutely. You know, we use Zoom a lot to record our stuff because that's what we got to do in this day and age. And either way,
exactly.
I love the vibe that comes through. However we connect is always a positive vibe, and it makes it so much fun hanging out with you as far as that is. I got this great press release just about 2 weeks ago, just announcing that you guys have this really cool program you're starting up. It's all about using virtual reality to basically create prototypes so manufacturers can assess and credential their workers around all things within advanced manufacturing. I thought it was super cool. I was like, I'm calling Susie up. We got to talk about this because, I mean, ARM's been in Pittsburgh for what, 4 or 5 years now, maybe longer than that.
We just had our 5-year anniversary on January 13th.
Cool. I was close then. I knew.
You're very close. Yes.
It's really hard to map this day and age, isn't it? Like
it is
like compressed. Thank you, COVID. I can't keep track of anything anymore. But before we jump into this, just give our listeners just a quick background on what ARM does, because it's really cool, important work.
Oh, sure. Be delighted to do that, Jonathan. ARM is very unique in Pittsburgh and pretty unique in the United States.
Yeah.
We are one of 16 national institutes that are federally funded. And the purpose of all 16 of these institutes is to advance manufacturing technologies that help put the United States back on the forefront as a manufacturing leader. As we all know, back in the 50s and 60s, the United States was a manufacturing leader. And we know from much of its history, Pittsburgh itself was a clear manufacturing leader in the United States. And so we're really excited that we've been able to have the ARM Institute here in Pittsburgh, building upon our history of manufacturing and innovation. And our particular focus at this institute is on robotics, AI, and autonomy. So how do we introduce...
That's for sure.
Exactly. Fits perfectly, right? So how do we introduce more of those capabilities into U.S. manufacturing? How do we bring more manufacturing back to the United States, as we saw through COVID?
Right.
That's a real challenge, that we're not manufacturing enough here. And that's really where our institute focuses. And we focus both on the technology side as well as the workforce side. And that's really what this press announcement that you just mentioned is all about, is the work that we do on the workforce side.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, we know manufacturers are struggling to have enough workforce. I mean, everyone is in this day and age, and manufacturing is so important. Without the people, it's not going to be able to move forward. So a little assistance from some technology can go a very long way when it comes to strengthening our manufacturers. And one thing I can say for sure at the Pittsburgh Tech Council, we love manufacturing. We know it is Pittsburgh's past, it's our present, and it's our future, because manufacturing and technology just go hand in hand. That's why we're such fans of what the ARM Institute is all about. So let's jump into this use of virtual and augmented reality. This is, I think it's just so much fun to see how you guys are putting this project together that's going to start putting this whole thing together around basically assessing and credentialing. Give me an overview of how this is coming together.
Sure, I'll give you a tiny bit of background. As you mentioned, the number one issue nationwide and in Pittsburgh as well is lack of skilled labor for manufacturing, even more so than access to technology. They're not able to find the people that they need. And one of the big challenges that they can't find is because there's no standardization around credentialing, around jobs, around careers. It's kind of like the wild, wild west in some ways, right? And I always compare it to an accountant, right? So if you go to college to be an accountant, you get your 4-year degree, everybody knows what that means. You basically take the same classes no matter where you go. And so an employer knows exactly what they're hiring when they see a graduate. No matter what school they come from, they know they have a base set of skills. Pretty much none of that exists when you're looking at the robotics careers and robotics in manufacturing. Right. So a robotics technician role could have 30 different descriptions and have no consistency among skills or competencies or things of that nature. So overall, we are setting out to try to solve that problem, working within our consortium, working with partners, working with manufacturers here in Pittsburgh, as well as across the United States. And one of the things that we did earlier this year was introduce a website called roboticscareer.org, which is a free national resource, which lists over 12,000 programs across the United States that people can get certain skills for. And so I'm not here to talk about that, but I wanted to give you that background because the work that we're doing here with VR builds upon that. So again, our overall mission is to bring some clarity to the whole career path and opportunities for people for careers in robotics. So not only are we trying to encourage people to take these jobs because they're plentiful, there are thousands and thousands of jobs out there right now today where people are looking for robotic technicians in the broadest sense. Not the people that go to CMU that program the robots, but the people who are maintaining them on the shop floor.
Absolutely. Keep them up and running and
exactly.
The best, for sure.
Yes. And so what we did was we said, okay, let's find all the educational programs. But then we said, there are a lot of people today that are working with robots in their factories that have no way to prove that they have the credentials to do this. Because there's no way for them to easily get recognition for what they've done. And so that's why we put this project together. And the intent of this project is to develop this. First of all, we've got phase one, we've got funding to create a prototype, is to allow a current worker to take an online test to prove that they're capable of working with robots, that doesn't force an employer to take a robot off the line in order to allow somebody to take the test.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so the goal here is really, it can be these tests can be made available to anyone, but the goal here is really to give existing workers, incumbent workers, the opportunity to prove that they have credentials to continue to grow in their career. And so that's the purpose of this test. And we thought, why not try VR? Why not try to do it this way? Again, it doesn't necessarily take the worker, it doesn't take that existing worker necessarily off of their job at that time. It doesn't take the robot offline. And it allows us to really explore how we can help people gain these skills through a variety of different ways, right? So, and test these skills through a variety of different ways. And that's really what we're trying to accomplish with this prototype.
I love the fact that you're putting these like guideposts up now. So there is something to actually measure against, because this is such a fast moving and new industry that it needs to have these things in order for it to grow. So we can have standards, people can be gauged against it, and there's assurances that people know what they're doing and so forth. These are things that I don't think about. I'm glad that you guys do, because it would never happen if it were up to me. That's for sure. Very cool.
Well, thank you. I mean, we hear all the time from employers that say, I don't know if this person has the right skills for me to even hire them. I don't know if this person has the right skills for me to promote them into this new job. And so, like I said, it's very much very in its infancy, because it's fast growing and it's newer to a lot of manufacturers, especially small, medium-sized manufacturers who are just starting to look at the use of robots. So we're really excited about this program and excited that we have this opportunity to work on this and come out with a working prototype that hopefully we can get more funding and move it further with.
Yeah. So what's your timeline to get this prototype up and running in the coming year?
So our goal is to get this out later this year, and actually around the fall timeframe. We hope to have the prototype done. We're actively working in the press announcement. We've got 3 partners that we're working with, Sim Insights, and they're all members of ARM2, which is great that we work with our members on these projects. But Sim Insights is doing the VR projects. APT Manufacturing Solutions, they are actually providing the real life scenario for the testing for the credential, right? And then IBL Education is helping us create this environment that works in a platform that some people might be familiar with called Open edX. It's a learning management system that was developed at MIT. And so we've kind of adopted that Open edX platform as a way to deliver what we're doing.
Very cool stuff. We only have a couple minutes left. I want to keep talking to you because I get very excited to know that right here in our own backyard, we have the ARM developing these types of things for the entire industry. And it's coming right out of here in Pittsburgh. So, obviously, what other types of quick projects are you guys working on? Because there's so much. This is just kind of one little sliver of what's kind of going on there with ARM. Real quick, anything else that's pretty exciting that you want to get out there for us?
Oh, well, yeah. We're at this point in time, we've just passed again our 5-year anniversary. We've funded almost 100 different projects, quite a few of them working with local robotics companies as well, too. We've got an active community. A good portion of the robotics community here are members. And if you're not, you should be a member. So we've got projects all over the place in the tech side that have to do with dealing with what we always talk about, those dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs that humans don't want to do, like sanding airplane wings and painting. And
I love sanding airplane wings. The dust, fantastic. Yes,
and a lot of work came out of the COVID projects that we did in terms of disinfecting and things like that, robotic disinfecting, and so. We're really excited about the work that we've done. Along with our 5-year anniversary, we're planning on issuing a new website later in the next couple months. We'll have more information about our projects, but anyone can visit arminstitute.org today and learn any about the almost 100 projects that we've funded already and the type of work that. Well, thank you. It's if you're robotics, AI, and autonomy, where else would you want to be? And manufacturing, right?
Bring that all together. We got some good stuff cooking, that's for sure.
We did, for sure.
Excellent. Thanks for being with me, everyone. We're taking a quick break. We got more Tech Vibe coming right up. In fact, we have a tech twist on donuts. Yes, I said donuts, one of my favorite things in the world. This is Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. Learn more about us by going to pghtech.org.
For more than a decade, Blink has been producing unique creative services and solutions that tell a story, move hearts, and drive decision-making that advances business objectives, your business objectives. We adopt a company-wide policy of candor, transparency, and a good old-fashioned work ethic in the pursuit of building long-lasting relationships with our clients and our partners. From video and design to strategy and digital marketing, Blink is here to creatively advance your business. Visit us at 321blink.com.
Indirect technology spend is at an all-time high and continues to grow on the balance sheet year after year. This March 29th through the 31st, PASS, the global leader in technology spend analytics, will host the Accelerating Technology Procurement Summit at Heinz Field to discuss best practices and strategies in procurement of the category. The summit will cover topics like negotiation, relevant data, sourcing, and will feature executive-level keynote speakers from Google, Oracle, KPMG, and many more. So sign up today at www.atp-summit.com/register and use code TechVibe for $500 off each registration ticket. All the cool kids are listening to TechVibe Radio, and so are you. TechVibe Radio is coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios and is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, Blink, Chorus Call, C-Leveled, Compunetics, Huntington Bank, My Benefit Advisor, and PNC Bank. Here are your hosts, the Pittsburgh Technology Council's Audrey Russo in Jonathan Kirsting.
Welcome back. You're listening to TechVibe Radio. So glad you can join me to get a tour of Pittsburgh's technology ecosystem. This is Jonathan Kirsting. I'm your host. I'm from the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and I have a passion for not just technology, but also for all things donuts. I do love donuts. And when I learned that one of our members actually started his own donut shop, I got pretty excited. I did a really fun podcast with Marcus Vahle, and he opened up Valkyrie Donuts over in Bellevue. And he's doing this with a tech twist in many, many ways. First and foremost, he's actually using a little 3D technology to make his own donut cutters, because they have a very cool square donut at Valkyrie. On top of that, his donuts are 100% vegan, and he's using some really cool technology platforms to get those donuts into hungry people's hands. Anyhow, you'll see my passion for donuts comes through on this podcast, but more importantly, you're going to learn how Marcus is just a great guy, and him starting this bakery, I think, is just tremendous. It's one of those things that makes Pittsburgh's tech ecosystem just that much tastier. Give it a listen and tell me what you think.
Celine, my friend the baker, came up to Pittsburgh to visit me, and she loves dogs. And so John just got a Frenchie. So I was like, let's go with John. You guys had never met. You're both like the big people in my life.
Yeah.
You know, but just in parallel. And finally they met and they loved each other. We went to the dog park. And so we're like, well, we got to do the donuts here. Three of us got to work together.
That's awesome, man. That's such a cool story. I love it, man. Bringing it to Pittsburgh.
Yep, bringing it to Pittsburgh. So we opened we bought a little trailer, branded it, bought a donut fryer, got a commissary kitchen, learned how to make donuts, sourced all the ingredients, and then we took our little trailer all around Pittsburgh for the first half of last year, and made a bunch of stops, got them real popular, got a lot of feedback from everybody, learned sort of the ropes of doing all of that. And then just before Thanksgiving, we opened our shop here on Lincoln Avenue in Bellevue, where I'm sitting right now. So
excellent.
Got our physical store here now.
Lincoln Avenue in Bellevue, not too far away. I need to know these things for my Saturday morning donut runs, man. This is good.
Yeah.
So the idea, so you're still doing vegan donuts? Is that the whole jam with Valkyrie?
Yep, everything we make is plant-based. So for the uninitiated, that's the same as vegan. Basically, it means no animal products. It also means no animals were harmed or exploited producing any of the products. So that is not as simple as you might think.
No, that's complex, especially with baking, because baking requires some of the different types of fats and stuff that come from an animal to get the textures and the flavors and stuff. So I think the chemistry behind trying to get that right, going all plant-based has got to be super tough. I guess there was a lot of experimentation and putting on some extra pounds doing all of the sampling.
What you're saying is getting fat here, exactly. But you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Even like the sugar, white sugar, a lot of it is processed in a lot of plants in the U.S. using animal products. So
really, see, that's something I would not even think about. Interesting.
Right. Yeah. So we do try to source, responsibly made everything.
Okay.
Sprinkles typically contain animal products. If you didn't know that.
Yeah, even our sprinkles are friendly. Oh my God.
Most commercial sprinkles have confectioner's glaze, which is the baking industry term for shellac, which is made from the shells of beetles.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why your sprinkles are shiny normally.
Oh my God, I will never look at a sprinkle the same ever again.
Right. And then there's other stuff like honey, obviously that's exploiting bees and, anyway, so the list goes on and on.
Gotcha.
And, we everything we make is plant-based, which has the other sort of side effect of means everything we make is cholesterol free.
So I was going to ask you, so I feel like your donut should be maybe healthier than your typical donut. I mean, I know I don't want to step on them too far, but I'm feeling like less cholesterol, no hydrogenated fats and creepy stuff like that, right?
Right. Yeah. It is. In terms of the fats, definitely a healthier lipid.
I'm just calling this health food right now.
Okay, fine. I'm going to roll with it.
I'll eat 3 of these and not actually feel guilty whatsoever.
Well, you of all people should feel that. Actually, we're growing our menu next week to include pies, to include cookies, and to include breakfast sandwiches. So we'll have vegan breakfast sandwiches also.
So you can walk into this shop in Bellevue on Lincoln Avenue and not just get donuts, but also look at pies, breakfast sandwiches, and all the fun stuff.
Yep.
All vegan, right?
Yep. So the other, it's all vegan, all plant-based. So it's all the other menu items that aren't donuts are rolling out next week.
I told you, Marcus is a cool guy. Absolutely. He's one of my favorite people for sure. I love seeing people that will just try anything and just be successful at it the way he is. He's just like that representative of what is working right in Pittsburgh's technology sector. That is for sure. So this is the end of the show, but don't worry, we're back next Sunday. If you want to listen to the entire podcast with Marcus, just go to our website, pghtech.org, and drop down into the podcast for the One Mic Stand, and you can find him there. You can find all of our podcasts there. We do so many podcasts because we love having all of these conversations around all things tech in Pittsburgh. Until next Sunday, this is Jonathan Kirsting from the Pittsburgh Tech Council. Learn more, pghtech.org.
We all need a little help sometimes. At Peoples, we want to make sure that you have safe natural gas service. Whether you need help with your utility bills or you're looking for some breathing room in your budget, we're here to give you options. Just visit our anonymous program finder. We'll show you which programs you may be eligible for and how to apply. Learn more at peoplesgas.com/safety. Peoples, an essential utilities company.
TechVibe Radio is coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios and is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, Blink, Chorus Call, C-Leveled, Compunetics, Huntington Bank, My Benefit Advisor, and PNC Bank.